Welcome to Volo softball ref training. Our mission is to create the opportunity for a fulfilled life through genuine communities and access to activity. Our purpose, we play so kids play free. Today's agenda, we'll look at the setup and rosters, rules, and then some miscellaneous stuff and best practices. Setup and rosters. You have a max of 10 players on the field at one time, minimum of 7 required to play. For co-ed, at least 3 must be men and 3 women. If a team only has 2 men or 2 women, they'll play with 1 less player in the field and receive 1 automatic out at the end of their order. Metal bats must have a visible ASA certified sticker, can't be double walled or made of composite materials. Men must use wood bats for all softball leagues at Moakley Park and Lincoln Park. Women can use metal bats at all these locations if they choose, still adhering to the aforementioned bat specifications. Only registered players are allowed to play, but captains should utilize the drop-in spots feature on the app when you need players. Try using this app at least 48 hours prior to game start time and email boston@volosports.com if you still need help. If your team must forfeit a game during the season, you have to do the following not to be penalized. For weekday leagues, all forfeits must be emailed to boston@volosports.com by 5 p.m. on game day. For weekend leagues, by noon on game day. And if you play in a league that starts before noon, it has to be sent by 10 a.m. The subject of the email must be forfeit and then insert the location and sport. If your team fails to complete those steps, you'll be penalized. First offense, automatic DQ from the playoffs. Second, removal from the league with no refund. Let's look at the rules. All games last at most 7 innings or 60 minutes, whichever comes first. The last inning should start no later than 10 to 15 minutes before the start of the next game. The ump should announce the inning is the final inning at that top of the last inning. But due to differing circumstances, some games might finish short of the 60 minutes in length, while others may run a little over the allotted time. If it's tied at the conclusion of the game, it will be a tie during the regular season. Extra innings only happen in the playoffs. There is a mercy rule. If the winning team is up 10 or more runs after 5 full innings, the game is declared officially over. The teams can still play out their remaining time if both captains agree, but any further scoring won't count. Batters start with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. There are walks. However, a batter can refuse a walk upon 4 balls being reached, but if you refuse that walk, you can't accept it later in the at-bat. There's no bunting. A bunt attempt results in a non-contact strike. There's a strike mat at home plate used to determine balls and strikes. The strike mat is part of home plate, so a base runner may touch it when scoring at home. A legal pitch. That's an underhand arc ranging from 6 to 13 feet in the air and landing on any part of the strike mat, including home plate itself. Defensive subs are allowed between any half inning. If you sub out, you can sub back in. Everyone bats, even if they didn't play in the field that half inning. Keep the same batting order throughout the whole game. If someone shows up late, however, they should be inserted at the end of your order. There's no stealing or leading. Runners can leave the base as soon as the batter makes contact with the ball. The first offense means a dead ball and a warning. The second offense means the runner is out. There is a 7-run limit per inning through the first 4 innings of the game. The half inning ends once 7 runs are reached. For home runs, at Moakley Field specifically, that's field number 4, it doesn't have a fence. A home run shall be scored when the ball travels past the walking path on the fly. If the ball bounces prior to the walking path, it'll be ruled as a ground rule double. And at any location, the team or player hitting the home run is responsible for retrieving that home run ball. Infield fly rule. Any fly ball with significant arc and deemed a routine catch by an infielder with less than 2 outs and a force out at third base results in the batter being ruled out automatically. Runners can advance after the catch at their own risk if they choose. No team may have more than 7 infielders. This includes the pitcher and catcher, and you can tag up on foul balls. For safety, base runner to defensive player contact. Any excessive contact will result in an out or ejection at the umpire's discretion. Situations such as breaking up a double play, intentional interference, collision at home plate, things like that. To increase player safety, defenders should always stay clear of the base paths when not making a play on the ball, and all efforts should be made by the runner to avoid contact. There should always be 2 bases at first base, 1 regular base, and 1 safety base for the runner to use. If a base runner is impeded from reaching a base because a fielder is blocking their path, they should visibly raise both arms in the air to signal that the defender is prohibiting their ability to progress. The base could be awarded to the runner at the ump's discretion. If the base runner makes contact by running into the fielder, the runner can be ruled out. Sliding is allowed, but any reckless or unsafe slide results in an automatic out and or ejection based, again, on the ref's discretion. All overthrown balls are deemed out of play when the ball is thrown over a fence, the ball is thrown beyond the imaginary line extending from the end of the backstop, if there is no fence. The imaginary line applies to overthrows and caught fly foul balls. You can't catch a ball beyond the imaginary line. Understanding the boundaries of your field should be part of your pregame walking routine. On overthrows out of play, the runner is granted the base he or she was going to only. Example, a runner is on first base and headed towards second base. A ball is thrown in from the outfield and is deemed out of play while the runner is still between first and second base. That base runner would only be granted second base, not an extra one after that. In most leagues, not all teams will qualify for the playoffs, so there is a tiebreaker used if there are ties in the standings. The tiebreakers are listed below in order, going by forfeits, head-to-head results, strength of schedule, strength of hardest win, and runs against. Let's wrap up with some miscellaneous items and looking at best practices. You should bring music as part of your field setup. It really adds a lot of character to the game, and all the players love it. Walk your field pregame, get to know the field, and take the chance to clean and free the field of trash, sticks, rocks, things like that. If a rake's available, get in the habit of raking home plate and the base areas before game time. Stay ahead of time. Manage games that are running behind by checking the clock frequently between innings and outs. Really try to stay on time. Be assertive and loud with your calls, but also socialize with players. And leave the field in better shape than when it was when you arrived. Okay, there might be instances when you have to manage conflict. It does happen as a ref. Stay calm. Be willing to hear the player out. Try to hear that player out, if at all possible, between innings or ideally after the game. Make time to hear the player, but when there's a break in action, we got to keep the game flowing. Be approachable and as friendly as possible while staying in control. Strike that balance. Get to know the players' names, or at least the captains. That helps manage any conflicts if you build relationships with the players. Thanks for coming. Have an awesome day.